So in this first example, we're using a little bit of code and a potentiometer to change the blinking speed of this yellow LED. And you can see as I turn the potentiometer, the speed of the LED increases. So on the input side of the circuit, we have 5 volts and ground coming from the board going to the potentiometer, and we have this green wire that goes back from the middle pin of the potentiometer and goes into analog input 0 on the board. Then on the output side of the board, we have this yellow wire that goes to the LED. And on the code, basically we just call out analog 0 as the sensor pin, and we call the LED pin output 13. So then we call up the pin mode on 13 as output. From there, we just use a analog read to get the input from the potentiometer, and then we use digital write to call up the high and low or on and off on the LED, and it just continually repeats that loop to make the blinking occur. Now this second example is basically the same as the first, but we just added a couple of lines of code in here so that we can use this serial monitor function to watch the input on the analog pin. Basically you're just seeing the value that the computer is using, and you can see it change there as we change the input on the potentiometer. Now here we're going to be using the Vex Robotics potentiometer, and I'm actually going to be using the same code from the first example. The only difference that I made is that I swapped around a couple of these wires on the input here to match the pinout of the Vex connector. But you'll see that it functions exactly the same as the other one did. Alright, here we're using the Vex Robotics push button to actually turn off the LED light. See, when you push the button, it turns off there. Now the major difference in this from the previous ones is that we're using 2 different commands. We're using the input pull-up command, and also instead of using an analog read, we're using a digital read because the push button is a simple on-off switch.